Hi everyone, Mighty Plumber, Margaret Plumber. So I've decided that this year I'm going to be sharing my skill with those who I need to at least make ends meet. It's not for everyone, definitely not. But then those who seem or have some interest in plumbing, or even if they want to use it as part of their hustling, they're welcome to watch my videos. Of course, like and tell those who might also be in need of a skill to also like and follow my page, as I'll be giving. This is the first lesson actually. And with this lesson, I'm going to be teaching how you see those basins you use in the bathrooms, the toilets, when you are visiting a hotel, a flat, or in a shared space accommodation, or those type of apps at work, even for others. This is how they were connected. I'm going to be showing you how you can also, try to do it yourself. Also, okay. Looking at this. Okay, so I have drawn you now, as you can see here. This is a whole picture of what's going on. This is outside. I'm assuming this is going to be the wall outside a building, okay? And this is inside. This now meaning this is now inside a building. I'm hoping that everyone can see everything that's written here. So what I did, first things first, you assess the space that you need to be putting in your basin. Your client comes, I need 3 basins for my toilet, I need 3 more basins in my bathroom. And what you will do is you will look at where that your client wants your basins to be. Now you look at the space, and thereafter you have to go outside now and inspect what is going on outside, how are the pipes lined out and all of that. Usually, if you walk around the area or the building, you should find a water supply. Usually this water supply, you don't even see where it ends because it just goes up, down, underground. This is why I actually put this part in. And you should also be able to see, you see those big white pipes? We call them PVC pipes, and those PVC pipes, they're usually at the size of 110 millimeters, okay? And this is also, you see them also going underground and you don't even know what's going on. Usually your waste pipe, that's not the topic for today, but I'll give you a quick recap on this one. It's usually connected by a Y junction continuing and collecting waste from all the other buildings, if not even next door. This is why sometimes you'll realize it's blocked next door, but then you having the same problem as your neighbors had. It's because this pipe is one line going on and meeting all the other lines. Okay, off topic. This is a topic for another day. This will be on lesson 2, how we're going to be doing the waste for these basins. So today we're only doing the water supply. I hope I'm not too quick, and I hope you guys can see this picture. Okay, now what I did, went now back inside the building and traced how can I put these 3 basins. And I tried to put them as close as possible to my water supplier. Okay, this is usually your 22 millimeter copper pipe water supply. I will make a note there just now. Now, how am I going to get this water? I've placed my basins now, and this will be cold. Cold is always on your right. Even your conscience will tell you when you get to a bathroom, when you want to wash your hands and you're expecting cold water to come out, you'll probably open the right side of the tap. And your left side will be hot. Cold, hot, cold, hot. Now you've placed your stuff properly. Okay. What do you do? Now we need to figure out how we're going to be bringing water from this line into the building. And from the geyser to the hot water tap. I put my geyser here on top because usually geysers are known to be hiding somewhere on top of a ceiling. Well, that's old school style, but then they still do it, and we still find a lot of geysers somewhere on top of a building or inside, especially in a a flat, accommodation area. Is not rare for you to find your geysers outside. So I just put my geyser up there on the ceiling, and which is also, as you can see, this line, but then it's getting supplied by this water supply pipe. This is usually also probably supplying all the other areas in the building that needs water. But now our main focus, bringing us back to 1, 2, 3, basin 1, basin 2, basin 3. We need to know how we are going to be bringing the water to this side. Okay, let's go now and see how we're going to do. The plan is I will be looking at my sketch now. From here, I will need, as you can see, this is your stop valve. There's always a stop valve outside in case there's an emergency or you need to close the water. There's some pipes leaking inside. You always go outside and close this. So now the basins are not going to be coming from there, and now I'm going to go and I want to take them from here. This is also going to help us save pipe. So I want them to come from here and look a bit neat on a straight line, and meaning I will need another stop valve for somewhere here. Let's think. I would need another stop valve that will be coming here, closing the water that's going inside the basins in case of an emergency. But because I'm also planning on putting bolo stops on my basin tabs, let's see how we solve this problem. Now, as you can see, I did what I just said I would. I took the water from this pipe. Now you're wondering, how did I do that? Okay, Margaret Plumbers. Now, ma'am, how did you do that? Okay, let me tell you what I did. Here, I went outside, the same pipe. You see this pipe? What I did is cut in the center. I made a line where I would like my pipe to move from, and I placed that line in the center. And after cutting that in the center, I placed my T. This is my T junction. Okay, don't mind my drawing, I'm just a plumber, nothing more. And I placed my T there. T allowed me to now receive water, transport it to top as it has been always moving. It's moving as it was, and at the same time it's going to be coming in now this way because the T has an opening here. Then I took this T is a reduced T. Let me just make it more for you. Okay. So as you can see, I placed this T here, and this is a reduced T. Okay, we are coming from a 22 millimeter pipe. We're going in with 15. So this is 20. It's 22, 15, 22. So when you buy this is your 22 by 15 by 22 millimeter T piece. You understand how I got there? I'm sorry if my writing is not visible, but yeah, you should be able to see what I'm doing there. Just keep it here for now. It's 20. Since we're working on the parts, I'm just gonna put your focus here so that the bigger picture doesn't confuse you. Okay, so this is 22 by 15 by 22 T piece. 15 being this side, and then we go. Okay, now when we get to the first tab, what do we need there? I need a pen and pen with it you'll be able to see. Okay, I think this will work better. Just got a new pen. Hopefully you can see this one now. And you get inside here, you probably use the drill to bore a hole. To bore a hole here, you probably use a drill bead of, I'm gonna say 10, 12, because your part might need Yeah, let's say 10 or 12. That's your drill beat because you had to have a bigger hole there. And anyway, but that's just another conversation for another day. Here you need another tea. We're still on cold water. You need another tea. Why do I need a tea here, ma'am? You need a tea here because you still need your tabs to go and supply in another place, meaning you'll need a tea here. This is your 22 millimeter tea. 15, because you have already reduced. So this will be, as you can see, this will be a 15 millimeter T piece, 15 millimeter copper pipe, the blue, 15 millimeter T piece, and 15 millimeter elbow. Okay, this is for the copper pipe. This one, the pipe that we're using, the fittings. We call this fittings, okay? And that is what we needed to put the puzzle together. Now, you guys are wondering, this pink areas, I'm sure you guys can see that I have written there, bolo stop, bolo stop, bolo stop. Even the yellow plot by the hot water, might as well talk about both now. It's a bolo stop, bolo stop, bolo stop, bolo stop. Now, for those who do not know what is a ball or stop, it is a stop valve or stop cock or gate valve, but this is the smaller version of it. You've seen this, the small gray one that you find under your basins. This is very important to have as something happens to the individual tab. How would you be able to fix it? You can't now be expected to switch off the whole line of water, and you will not be expected to switch off the whole line of the water in order to fix this one tab. At least you can just close the bolo stop here, and these two hot water tabs can still continue running. Or you're fixing this one, you close here, and this one can continue working because the water coming, it will just be transporting the water to the next tab. Okay, same applies for the cold water. You want to fix a tap, need to fix a tap, you're able to close the bolo stop and be able to fix what needs to be fixed. Whether the taps will usually have problems such as leaking, running water non-stop, regardless of how you try to close it, but we'll still talk about those, solving those problems. And yeah, now that we have solved the cold water tabs, they already have the water running, they already have the bolo stop in case one of the taps is leaking or something like that. Maybe one of the taps is not tight enough. We can just close here and ensure that that tap is tight. Now, we're moving to the hot water now. All right, now, I know what you guys are saying. One of you guys is like, ma'am, I can do this. Let me do this, ma'am. This is easy. I can do hot water. This is from the geyser. Okay, a geyser usually has an inlet and an outlet. Inlet and outlet. In meaning water is coming into the geyser, out meaning the geyser is taking water out. Okay, so usually it has its own stop cock, also stop valve. I'm going to just write here stop valve because this is off topic, and I just also want to make you aware of this as well. Okay, now you will find the pipe that is transporting hot water from the geyser into the building. I'm just gonna, let me do this here just so I don't have my red pen close, but this is probably where the water is continuing to go from the geyser inside the building, but you only require your hot water to come to the taps. So what do? A plumber's work is very important that it's always neat. You're gonna find a place that you can open as you did this one. You find a center where you want to take or transport water from, and you take it in. How about that? We're assuming the geyser stop valve is here in case the geyser needs to be fixed, or the pipes are leaking somewhere around these areas. You're able to close the geyser, water from coming out, and you're able to fix where it needs to be fixed. Of course, unless the geyser has burst. That's also another topic for another lesson. Okay, so now you go straight where you can find your water. Now you start to transport. How did she transport this water? She got herself a T-piece, of course. T-piece giving the geyser so that the geyser can continue as it's been working, transporting the water probably to the showers, to the toilet, to the kitchen, wherever the water is going. And then a small part, then you come and it's an elbow. And here you seem to need more elbows than you did in the cold water supply, and you seem to be needing more part because you're actually coming from the top. The very important part about this, ensure that your pipes are moving neat, straight. Ensure that your pipes are always straight. Even those who will be looking at your wall, they will see something neat, a neat job. And here another T-piece, of course. Listen, the distance is not the correct distance. Right now we're just doing basics, and yeah, we'll work on the rest as we move. Okay, as the lessons continue, that's when we'll get to know more about plumbing and the measurements, because one main thing about plumbing, measurements are very strict. How you measure your pipes, where you cut your pipes. You can't even cut, sometimes you can't even cut 5 centimeters more, and it's so difficult to cut a small size of a pipe once you've made a mistake. Anyway, another lesson. We have so many lessons to be doing, and I can hear him already shouting, "Ma'am, that is an elbow." What size elbow will this be? Usually when water is coming from your geyser to take water inside the house, it's coming out with, I'm just going to write this pipe here, 22 millimeter copper pipe. We're using copper here. No one can steal our copper here. The copper pipe on this page is safe, copper pipe. Okay. And meaning your fittings will be, your first T-piece will be 22 by 22 by 22. I'm making it like that because also we don't want the pressure coming in too hard and creating a T-piece. I don't know if you guys have heard of a non-return valve. I don't want to make things complicated when it comes to this lesson, so I'm just going to keep quiet about your non-return valve. But I'm mentioning it because I know I have a lot of plumbers who will be watching, and they'll probably ask me, where's your non-return valve? Or don't we need a non-return valve on this one? But for now, I'm just making it as basic as possible. Now, this is your elbow. Now, this is also continuing here because this is your 22 by 22 by 22 T-piece. This will be 22 millimeters copper pipe still. Okay, we will reduce moving from here. Now, your elbow will be 22 by 15. Oh, we need a new pen. Your elbow will be 22 by 15. Alright, your elbow, sorry about that, will be 22 by 15. Why? Because this is 15 and this is where we start to connect. 15, okay, copper pipe. There you go. Now, as we're moving with this is another 15. This is easy now. I know I can hear you guys shouting the answers. Okay, elbow 50. I really can hear you guys shouting the answer. Now, which elbows are these? Copper, of course. Some copper. Oh, copper. Man, I'm not gonna write. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep on changing pen because my pens are disappointing me, but this one you can't see. Let's try white. Now, and as you know, TPs. Okay, so you know what I'm doing now. I'll go, and I think you guys understand it is 15 millimeter elbow. Okay, now what is going on here now? Water is coming in, cold water, hot water is coming in. As soon as you open the stopcock here, you know what? We need the stopcock for the geyser, so that should there be an emergency, I'm gonna put that stopcock here. Okay, just gonna write there 15 by 15 millimeters stop valve. Okay, C by C, copper by copper, stop valve, or compression by compression. It's copper by copper, compression by compression, depending on which, what is this? Depending on which stop valve we're choosing to buy. So the reason for the stop valve here is because should there be a problem with the hot water inlet or hot water supplier, then we are able to close it here and fix the pipes going in. Sometimes you find that this pipe will not even leak here or there, or it's not even about the taps, but then it will leak around this area, or something happens and it leaks way before you get to the taps. So at least, I'm sorry about that, in that manner you'll be able to close or here by that stop valve. I really hope that you understand the lesson of the day. I'm just gonna go and do a quick recap, and I'd appreciate it if you like and you subscribe and you follow for the next lesson. On the next lesson we will be doing, let me just write it there, waste will be. Okay, now I'm just gonna zoom for you in, and I hope you guys enjoyed my lesson, and I hope you have learned something about plumbing. Just giving you an idea of what we'll be doing. My next lesson will be focusing on waste. Okay, waste meaning how will we be getting all that dirty water out of this one and connecting it to the waste pipe. But yeah, we'll see during that other lesson. Between lesson 1 and 2, I will be giving you the necessary tools that you will need for each task. So after this lesson, I will tell you the tools that you might need in order to complete this work. Okay, now just quick recap. Let's see. Just gonna zoom in quick. There you go. This is the outside wall. This is where we found our water supplying pipe that is also coming from underground. We have no idea where it's coming from. We've created a stop valve here that will be controlling the water that will be coming inside the building in case of any type of leakages that will be happening during these areas or wherever, or pipe burst or anything that could occur. Okay, sorry about that. And from this pipe we were able to fit the elbow, directing us in 22 by 15 by 22, and took us into the taps. As you can see, we were able to connect the tap, and from the geyser we were able to transport the hot water, ensuring that the basins also have hot water. Any questions, any suggestions, you are welcome to write them down in the comment section. And yeah, Thanks for your time. Margaret Plumber.